So I read this Napoleon Hill book everyone's obsessed with, Think and Grow Rich. I'm ready to get rich now.
No, you're not.
What? I just told you
You're sitting here waiting for me to give you permission to make money. That's your first problem. Edwin Barnes didn't ask permission. He jumped on a cargo train like a homeless man because his desire was bigger than his dignity. Are you willing to look like a fool?
Well, I don't want to seem desperate.
There it is. You care more about looking successful than being successful. You know what separates Barnes from every other nobody who wanted to meet Edison? Barnes was willing to take a garbage job for 5 years. 5 years! While everyone around him probably called him an idiot. His friends probably said, "You're wasting your life." And he kept showing up anyway.
But that's just luck, right? Being in the right place?
Luck is what weak people call persistence they don't have. You think it was luck that Barnes convinced Edison to let him sell a machine that professional salesmen refused to touch? No, it was obsession, borderline insanity. And that's what makes people rich. They're willing to look insane.
Okay, but I've written down my goals. I read them every morning, like Hill says.
Oh, you read them. How nice. Let me guess. You wrote, "I want to make $50,000, and you feel good about yourself?"
Actually, yes. By March 2026, I'll start...
And what have you sacrificed for it?
What do you mean?
Hill's son was born without ears. No ears. Doctor said he'd never speak, never hear. And Hill looked at that situation and said, "No, I refuse your reality." He told that boy bedtime stories every single night, speaking directly into his head where his ears should have been. For years. Most parents would have just sent the kid to a special school and accepted it. But Hill was delusional enough to believe his son could hear through sheer willpower.
But that's different. That's his son.
No, that's faith. Real faith. Not this soft motivational garbage you see on social media. Hill believed something impossible until reality bent around his belief. His son shouldn't have been able to hear. Medically impossible. But he did, because Hill planted that belief so deep it became true. Now tell me, do you believe in your $50,000 goal the way Hill believed in his son's hearing?
I think so.
You just asked me a question. That's your answer. You don't believe it. You hope for it. Hope is what poor people do.
That's harsh.
Rich people aren't harsh. Reality is harsh. Rich people just stopped pretending otherwise. You know what Henry Ford said when lawyers tried to humiliate him in court? They asked him history questions, trying to prove he was stupid. And he said, "Why would I clutter my mind with useless information when I have people who know that stuff?" The man barely finished school, and he crushed people with PhDs. You know why?
Because he was focused?
Because he didn't waste energy pretending to be smart. He was smart about one thing. Cars. That's it. While everyone else was trying to know everything about everything, Ford went deep on one thing and hired people smarter than him for the rest. But you're probably watching YouTube videos about crypto, real estate, stocks, drop shipping, all at the same time, aren't you?
I'm just exploring options.
You're distracting yourself from commitment. That's what exploring options means. It's an escape hatch. Ford made a decision. Model T. Cheap. Black. Basic. And he stuck with it for years while everyone told him to change. His own son told him to change. His advisors begged him. And he said no. 15 million Model Ts sold. That's what decisions look like.
But he eventually did change.
Only after he'd already won, after he'd already made his fortune, after he'd already proven his point. That's when you're allowed to pivot, not before. You make a decision and you squeeze every drop of blood from it before you even think about changing. But you'll change your mind by next Tuesday.
You don't know that.
I do. Because you're still looking for the easy way. You want the principle that doesn't require you to suffer. There isn't one. That guy Darby, he quit 3 feet from gold. Literally, 3 feet. He sold his drill for pennies and walked away. Someone else bought it, drilled 3 more feet, and became a millionaire with Darby's gold.
But how was he supposed to know?
He wasn't. That's the point. You never know how close you are. That's why most people fail. They stop when they can't see the end. Darby learned that lesson the hard way, and it destroyed him for a while. But then he transmuted that pain into something useful. He became a top insurance salesman because he made a promise. I stopped 3 feet from gold once. Never again. Every time someone said no to insurance, he remembered that he'd quit too early before. That memory made him rich.
So you're saying just keep going no matter what?
I'm saying you're going to quit anyway. Statistics say you will, so I'm not even talking to you right now. I'm talking to the 1% version of you that might exist, the version that's crazy enough to keep digging when everyone says stop.
Why are you even helping me then?
I'm not helping you, I'm filtering you. Most people hear this and they leave. They get offended. They say I'm too negative. Good, I don't want them. Ford didn't want people who couldn't make decisions. Edison didn't want people without determination in their eyes. And I don't want people who need encouragement. I want people who need information. Are you that person?
Yes.
Prove it. Tell me exactly what you want. Not, I want to be rich. The exact number, the exact date, the exact method.
I want $50,000 by...
And what will you sacrifice for it? Your free time? Your social life? Your pride? Your comfort? What are you willing to give up that you're not willing to give up right now? That's what I thought. See, you want the result, but you don't want the transmutation. You know what that word means? Sexual energy, creative energy, life force, whatever you want to call it. That's your fuel. The most successful people in history, according to Hill, had intense sexual energy, but they didn't waste it. They channeled it, redirected it into their work. You ever notice how when you're in love, you suddenly have energy for everything? You can work longer, think clearer, create better? That's the energy. Most people waste it. A few people weaponize it.
So what, I'm supposed to just not have a life?
You're supposed to decide what you want more. Everyone wants money. Very few people want it more than they want comfort, more than they want approval, more than they want safety. Barnes wanted to work with Edison more than he wanted dignity. Hill wanted his son to hear more than he wanted to accept reality. Ford wanted to build cars more than he wanted people to think he was educated. What do you want more than your excuses?
I don't know yet.
Then you're not ready. And that's fine. Most people never get ready. They live their whole lives in the exploring options phase. They read the books. They write the goals. They visualize the success. And then they go to work on Monday doing the same thing they did last Monday. You know the difference between visualization and delusion?
What?
Action. Dr. Gonsalves visualized his $1 million college for 2 years and nothing happened. Know when it happened? When he set a deadline. 1 week. I'll have the money in 1 week. Suddenly he had a plan. He announced a sermon, prepared it overnight, delivered it with everything he had, and a man walked up and handed him $1 million. 2 years of wishing versus 1 week of commitment. Which one worked?
The deadline.
The decision. The point of no return. That's what you're avoiding. You want to keep 1 foot out the door in case it doesn't work. And that's exactly why it won't work. You can't manifest money while hedging your bets.
So what do I do?
Stop asking me. That's step 1. You want someone to tell you the path, because if it fails, it's their fault, not yours. Rich people don't outsource their decisions. They make them. Quickly, and they stick with them until they're proven wrong by reality, not by fear. You think you're being smart by researching and considering all angles. You're not. You're being a coward. Pick something, commit, and if it fails, pick something else and commit to that. But stop pretending that waiting is wisdom.
What if I pick wrong?
Then you'll learn something poor people never learn. that failure isn't fatal. Darby failed 3 feet from gold, and it made him a millionaire in a different field. But first, he had to fail, completely, publicly, expensively. You're trying to avoid that. You can't. The only question is whether you fail quietly while attempting nothing, or fail loudly while attempting something worth doing.
This is a lot.
It should be. If getting rich was easy, everyone would do it. The fact that it's hard is good news for you, if you're willing to do hard things. Most people aren't. They want the magic secret, the loophole, the hack. There isn't one. The secret is that there's no secret. Desire, faith, persistence, decisions, specialized knowledge, mastermind alliances. These aren't tricks, they're requirements. And most people fail one or more of them.
Which one do most people fail?
Persistence. Everyone starts. Very few continue when it gets ugly, when the money doesn't come, when people laugh, when you're tired and broke and nothing makes sense. That's when most people go back to their safe jobs and safe lives. And that's fine. The world needs employees. It needs consumers. It needs people who follow the rules and retire at 65. But if that's not you, if you really want wealth, then you need to understand that you're signing up for a level of psychological warfare that most people can't handle. You'll be fighting yourself more than the market. Your doubts, your fears, your need for approval. That's the enemy.
How do I win that fight?
You already know. Hill told you. Barnes showed you. Darby showed you. You win by refusing to stop, by making it impossible for yourself to quit. Burn the boats. Kill the exit strategy. Make success the only option because failure would destroy you. That's how ordinary people do extraordinary things. They back themselves into a corner where the only way out is through.
That sounds terrifying.
Good. If it doesn't terrify you, you're not aiming high enough. Now get out of here. You've got work to do. One more thing.
Yeah?
When you succeed, and notice I said when, not if, don't come back here thanking me. Thank yourself. You'll be the one who did the work. I just removed your excuses.